Gen G right now, they've got to be kicking themselves because they had this in the bag. They absolutely had it until that thrifty round from TSM. Sides have swapped, so we're back to the dominating half of Gen G, but it was just as dominating from TSM when it came down to it.
Let's have a glass cannon build here for Wardell. Mikael's going to spot the players that are going to be pushing out from here. Cage goes up. Great spray for Mikael. Even gets a little bit of damage onto Wardell. He was a glass cannon anyway, but that hurts. 43 HP. Fly with a pistol could take him out at this point. The smokes are down. And the spike is in a really tough spot. Bang picks it up. Okay, thank you very much. I'll find another. And they'll just keep spraying it. Eventually, the spike will get retrieved by Levi, but at what cost? You lost 2 members already.
Oh, I like this. After the knife, Wardell re-peeks. He thinks they're already past, but the smoke will end up stopping him from getting anything more. And they're going to try again. They're going to try to walk through again. Mikael with this camera twice. This has already happened. He's just spotting the feet. Like, how good is this camera? Eventually, they'll take it out when their heads can actually see it. But Gen G know everything that's happening.
They have 2 players on site too, right? GMD and the flower pot, nature back site. So even if they pop out, GMD's just ready. 0 point. They don't have a lot of time left. 13 seconds. And it's well timed too! Wardell's the last player standing. He's got the pistol, yeah, but once you grabbed him, he was looking for the knife. He was looking for it. But the round goes to Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the last resort type of thing, so I'm not... We're in overtime still. Honestly, I think the way that this is played out, coming to overtime is a disadvantage for TSM simply because Gen G is starting on the defense. So even if, you know, based on how defensive sided this map has been for both teams, even if they brought it to overtime, which they did, Gen G is now playing defense first every new overtime. So advantage them, opportunity to close this game out, to close out the series. But it is on their attack, and here's the big part. They were reliant. 2 of the rounds that they got on their attack side was no command.
Look at this 3 players mid. This is very different from TSM. And Wardell's here as well. 4 players in and around this mid area, anticipating probably just the default from Gen G. Whatever the defaults look like. They've split it very rarely up through mid.
Walk through the wall. Leviathan's going to rotate off of that. They didn't really have that much information in B main, so they can't really push past, but sprays through smoke and NA. Name a better combo right now. Leviathan gets 1.
Oh my
Hayes
God.
Gets another. That's a Vandal, though, but it's vicious.
That is crazy. Spike will still go down, means the onus is on TSM to act, but they are already here, and these trips are about to be activated. 2 players stuck on the flank, and Kusta's ready for them. Unfortunately, the Trailblazer is going to make that very difficult for Kusta. Shot right in the back as he walks up the ramp. But GMD, alongside Mikael, looking to get this done. GMD is just trying to survive, avoids the flash for the time being, finds one initially. And on the swing, Sabrosa's got it back to, once again, another overtime.
Really, really well done there. I'm a little confused on whoever was a rant there for Gen G. I think Kusta. That was basically he sees the Trailblazer come in, and then he turns his back on it because he wants to escape. But it was so close that you kind of knew it was coming. The swing from Sabrosa, and he takes that out, and now they have control to retake the site from all angles. A very critical point when you talk about these A retakes is A ramp control. TSM does it very nicely because of the mid flank that came up that you called out. So we go back for a second overtime. And again, Gen G on defense. I think TSM saw something. There's attack timeout right now, so they're trying to find something else, but clearly there was an idea at the end of their attack half and here on the first overtime. Let's walk out A main. How many times did they try it? It worked out a couple rounds in regulation. This time, not so much. That kind of was the only thing that was working for them. The kind of like, it was the lurks for sure. Remember, it's Leviathan and Bang walking out of B main, or it's Hayes walking out of A main with Wardell. So one of those 2 options definitely look nice, but Gen G should be aware of it now. And that camera specifically was just so good to shut something like that down.
I just think the A side is much stronger here for Gen G than the B side is. They actually got plants down, and they were able to overwhelm Kusta a numerous amount of times on the. That doesn't mean they won the round, but they got into the side at least, and they could get the spike down. But Mikael on this A side is just a monster with his positioning, and the fact that you can swing off nature, then you've got the 0 point that comes in as well to not let them use their utility to get into the site. There's just so much working in favor here for Gen G.
Yeah, I think you're right, but another thing is, again, the ults. That was what won attacking rounds for both teams. It was Cosmic Divide in one case for TSM, and Gen G is the no command. So who is the first to break the pattern? Honestly, the first person to do it should have the game in the bag. Woo. So far, it's not working out for TSM to do just that. Leviathan damaged very much, and they're starting to work their way back over towards A. They've already used the Viper Wall too. It's not like they can pivot and use that on A.
Paranoia through. Not good enough, though, and Wardell just waits. Great patience. Comes up big. This could be the beginning of the round for TSM to just chain out of this overtime.
I think that's the first time we've seen on their attack side here on split that Wardell gets an opening frag like that.
Yeah.
And it's on the primary controller too, so they don't even have smokes to re-smoke on A main or anything like that, like they did in the previous round where the spike was down multiple times. Mikhail playing in front of his trips too. Gotta go big.
Oh my god! The reaction time's crazy. Sabrosa's looking for more. Sees him around the bend, just waiting for the flash to time out. But Nature's got it. Great frag though, but still 3v4. Nature's alone here on the site. Somehow, Kusta's now left to deal with Haste, and he's taken down. 3v2 advantage here for Gen G. They're starting the plant. Bang is waiting for the swing, and Nature's just sitting tight. Doesn't need to play any more aggressive than he needs to. The pre-fire spray for Levi. Nature just has to wait. Finds the frag just down a Bang. Has to re-guess his aim, rethink his life choices. Gen G find the defensive round. We knew that was coming, but I liked what I saw from TSM. Find the pick, almost find the round.
Yeah.
Switching sides.
I mean, honestly, Nate, 33 frags so far. This man has come up huge for Gen G, and probably the best KO performance we've seen yet in Valorant. It just looks so good in his hands. Back to defense for TSM. They cannot crumble here. I have to say, some of those B attacks that you're talking about that Gen G used were saved by Sabrosa and his way, how he's working around Leviathan's utility. They're switching it up so hard. Look how much utility is on that B site, and they're playing a lot in heaven. I think they're expecting here an adjustment from Gen G to start playing towards mid, but those adjustments have really come late in the round when they do. Again, it's happening.
Oh man, this is a little bit tricky from TSM, playing a little bit of a different style on their attack. Waiting for the Ramen peek. Sees Sean, sees the shoe first, but he might be anticipating the swing. He wants the flash first. Oh my goodness, Sabrosa leaves some for the rest of us. Almost sees the last player, and they're starting to run for B, but they're ready. They're waiting in heaven, waiting for them to pop out. They're stuck.
0 point clears the back sights. They're gonna re-clear Sabrosa, but he's still here waiting. He gets another one.
Oh my goodness.
He gets the fourth too. He's gonna go for the content play, but it doesn't work out. 1 versus 4 now for Nathan. And he's been good, but not quite that good. So we go again.
Oh my goodness. So here's what's going to happen. Once we go to the attack again, there's like Gen G's going to be looking. Okay, we got to figure out what the hell's going on in the mid here. TSM might be adapting since they have this kind of momentum built up on the attack. I feel like they're in Gen G's head. Gen G trying to play the default, and they're just stuck. B main, A main, wherever they are, they don't make those commitments fast, and it allows TSM to have so much time.
I'll tell you what, that mid attack is not going to work one more time for TSM. So still need to think about how the adjustment is going to work on defense. Either way, you're right. We're back on this attack. We're dealt with the glass cannon. That's what worked last time. But again, Gen G's not giving them anything. No room, no peeks, nothing. They're just playing off their own angles and not looking to take... They're not being greedy. That's basically what I'm getting to. They really aren't. so far in this overtime, TSM looks like the team is going to break the pattern first. But I do wonder about their defense as it goes forward. Either way, on the attack right now, Wardell's deep. There it is! Every
That's
time
dirty.
you give him a piece, he goes for it, and the flash is good for Savant too. But Sean, what?
How does he find that one? Doesn't matter though. Kusta's down. They've got control of the site. 2 players remain. This is the break in the chaos that you said TSM needed. Wardell now dropping down. Sees the TP, finds an easy pick just down to Mikael. Shot's good from range though, but not enough to take out 3 more players of TSM. And now Gen.G have a very difficult task to win on their attack.
Another pick from Wardell, and that is literally some of the craziest prediction that you can ask for, right? They clear all the way through B Heaven. He's cleared the angles up in the rafters and whatnot. His teammates come through behind him. They scale very well, and then he's looking for the jump peak. Who looks for the jump peak, Simo? Who but Wardell? That is ridiculous. In a spot that is not like you're expecting jump peak in ropes, you're expecting it on pillars. In Heaven? Oh my goodness, he's pre-aiming that.
Enemy suppressed. Flash.
And they've gotten breakpoint here, and Gen.G is just going for it. 2 flashes over top. The execute is through, but TSM's hiding for now. Bang will swing and get 2.
Oh my God.
This might be starting to call it right now. Sabrosa's gonna go for the bank, and he doesn't get anybody.
That's big. The fact that usually Sabrosa has come up with a multi-kill when he's been in those pillar situations. Now GMD sees Hayes. Wardell ready for the peak, but you got to be careful. Shot does look like it tags GMD. Wardell's down. Gusta takes him out. 3v2. Players are all locked and loaded, but the spike needs to be planted, and they're anticipating Levi with a little bit of antics. You see the flank now coming in from Hayes as well, coming in from B main. Nature a little bit unaware of it. Gonna recheck it here again. In a pretty decent position, spots him out, and now it's just down to Levi. No utility left. And he has to walk through the fire and the flames here as well. Nature's got the angle, and somehow they just Gen.G running back the same B pillar. First in with Sean, and that time it worked.
We're getting scrappy now too. I mean, what a round to pull off what I've been asking for the entire game. A different pace here from Gen.G, and with a full-on execute from the beginning, right? They're using the flash drives. The flash drives from KO over top of B main. That is not a flash that you're used to, and that's popping without you having any information. So you saw how far back Bang was. He was playing all the way back in CT and has to push through his own smoke to find any value. Gets 2 from it, but there's nobody to trade because they're all pushing back through their smoke. So back on the attack we go, and somebody has to break the pattern first again.
It's to walk through the molly. Does not survive. Now that's a lot of controller utility gone. They really rely on Levi to get safe passage to B. You even see Hayes starting to prep A. He's walking over, gonna start checking it out, and you might see the split through ropes. But guess who's ready? Mikael's cam, Nature, they're prepared for this.
Yeah. Oh, that barely missed. All it got was Hayes. Hayes is always in that position. And they're not expecting them to. Okay, the camera will spot them, so this isn't a big of a deal as I'm starting to make it out to B. Sean with the timing on the Sabrosa and a good peek there. GMG's peeking as soon as Sean is coming up the ropes as well.
Flash drive out. Sprays are starting to come through. Mikael finds one. Nature's just goddamn robot. Bang will be the last to fall. Great hold there on the A side. And once again, that A side is difficult to puncture through. Mikael and Nature are a disgusting combo. And if GMD decides to partner up with them too, even better. He sits behind the flower pot. He plays a little bit passive and he swings off of contact. It's insane how well their A side defense is. But once again, we go back to TSM's tried and true, their defense.
Hey, that's twice in a row now, number one, 2 times in a row, 2 rounds in a row, but they've also broken the mold. They won their T-side attack, and then they win their defense. They have to break one more time and win another attack round, though. To end this, send TSM to the lower bracket. Oh, Wardell's already given 1. That's Mikael trying to go in front of his cage for some reason. No smoke down. Leviathan also repositions off this too, so Wardell takes up Heaven and Leviathan takes up Ramp.
Well, they might be thinking about going down, but Sabrosa's here. Gonna see the toes. That's spike down. That is horrible for Genji. Hazed is already in Ramen. I was about to say Ramp. Sean is like, well, this is a scary sight. I've got to go through mid. Hazed is ready and waiting for it. This was prepped since minute and second 1. Now Sabrosa's in an advanced position because he got the smoke from Bang. Whoa, he checked camera, but still sees Nature crossing through. Roomba in.
Awkward.
To make things a little bit more troublesome. Hello. See you now.
Surprised he's not giving this up, but hey, it's a spike, so throw it with your body. You already got man advantage too, so I'm fine with this. Plus the control they have on the rest of the map. I mean, they can't come through, so it has to be Sabrosa taking the contact. And he's delaying them a lot because they think there's more. 25 seconds now, and they have to get through Wardell, Bang, and Leviathan.
Yeah, working with the buddy system though. Sean on first contact finds another one. Okay, things are starting to look looking a little bit easier, but with Wardell on the angle, Levi up above on the rafters, there's just no way to come back from that.
Switching sides. Oh,
and again we go.
5 overtimes, man. Both of the teams have gone through overtime, just in the open qualifiers at least. But here on the mainstream, I think we're being blessed with the amount of overtime games that we've gotten in the last two main events. I'm thinking back, V1 versus 100 Thieves. What was that? 20 overtimes?
Oh.
Starting off here, and it doesn't look like anything is gonna break anytime soon. It looks so even.
Speaking of that series, that one's gone to the third map, V1 versus T1. Third map is where that series will end up, as we are just finishing our second. Again, Genji on the defense, similar hold, but this time Mikael's a little bit more lonesome. Spike, though, not in the hands of any TSM members, so just the default to start, as we've praised TSM for their success rate based on picks found.
They've been having to get Wardell into deeper positions than against any other team, I think. So look at this. They're using the cages for him to cross, and then they're going to peek up a ramp. And even then, they're not going to show much. Like, Nature's not peeking here, unless he uses some sort of utility with a flash or something. Leviathan and Haze, the 2 lurkers. Nice. Only shoulder peeking the one way, not committing that fight. That's good. Dude, Sean is like being pulled in all sorts of directions right now. 30 seconds left. They're still on the other side. There's a flash through from GMD too, and they shut it down on this side. And the rotate's not even fully been pulled.
Wardell looking up above, looking from heaven. Bank so low, but still the sprays don't quite find him. The flash through has to run, but Sabrosa just uses that to get safe passage to elbow. Flank goes down, 4v3. Wardell's waiting for them to peek from heaven. And in the meantime, Sabrosa, he's pushing up. Still has the flash, can still pop through, but he's in the smoke. He's gonna wait for them to pop in. Has the flash out, catches one. Can he find another one? Nope, does eventually fall. And somehow the pain chills. Now it's just down to the op. 1v2, finds one through the flash. Now it's Sean chasing him down. And another round for Genji.
What is going on? You already knew Sabrosa wanted that. You saw him with his bird getting ready to flash through from the moment that happened, and he needed to. Why? Because Nature was coming with the knife, and if he caught both of them backside, they had no retaliation whatsoever. So he goes for it. Wardell tries, but it doesn't matter eventually because he still hit the shots. And then this is just gorgeous from Nature, or from Sean, to recognize the opportunity he has in front of him and go for the satchel charge. That is just so difficult to deal with when you're an opper. So Genji, again, advantage, but you've got to break the mold on when they have advantage. And neither side has been able to do that quite yet.
Oh, Levi. It's a little bit more advanced than he normally plays it, and they're moving fast. We know this. We know that this is the execute that Genji have been trying to push through, but this time TSM doing a great job of stopping them and find a great opening pick. It's not Wardell that finds it, but it doesn't matter. Sean is down.
Did that feel a little weaker, the execute there? They used both their flashes, but it didn't feel like the follow-up was there. Paranoia is still up. They didn't use stake bites or anything like that, so it wasn't the full execute. They were just trying to maybe get a pick, but that just completely backfired. And I think already that execute is something that TSM is ready for, right? They're going to be playing anti-flash because they know that that's in the pocket of Gen G. So not quite sure about that one. But a split is what they always end up going for. This is different though from Kusta.
Oh, this is just so ballsy. He's got the spike. He's got the spike. This is so dangerous. Mikael's down, trying to peek mid. Kusta's down. Yeah, this is like clockwork for TSM. Genji needs something else because this B hit is so telegraphed, and they're 5 stacking B main. 5 players. Till Mikael decided to wrap around through Ramen back through mid. Well, they sent GMD with him too, but they start 5 B main, 5 people. This is starting to get out of control.
That's been a problem, but not like a significant problem, right? Wardell has gotten the information in past rounds, but the information is just one thing, you know. There he shuts down the split entirely, and there's nothing to push him off the angle or anything like that. Oh, okay, this might be actually a fast push here because Wardell's not opping. He might end up using dashing on a site with a wall. Quick, very quick here from TSM.
Still have a lot of utility to work with. He's pushing up. 2 agents have been suppressed. Wardell. Let's take down that camera. They know there's players ramp, and they're trying to play it safe. One player does get sprayed through the toxic screen, but it doesn't mean the round is out of the woods quite yet for Gen G. One player jumps up. Wardell on a very tight angle here. Not going to let them push through. He has an angle into screens as well.
There it is. That was slow from Bang. They need to get the spike down. Okay, he planted for heaven too. Sean actually takes out Sabrosa, but it is planted for heaven. So Wardell could have a big impact if they manage to get their way back over. And Leviathan's playing post plant. Delay, delay, delay. That's the key for Wardell now.
Here's the execute. One player pushing through. They know that at least Wardell's there. Sprayed through the wall. Just down to Bang, and of course the post plant situation. Spray. Sean is down, okay, but still Bang will survive. Now the post plant comes in. They will at least get it to half, I'd imagine. But they know that Levi is playing post plant. He's down. They should be able to get the defuse at least. This is going to be a little bit scary. Okay, that could have been, if he died there, that's the round for TSM.
And Nature's not close enough. Yeah, wow. I love the idea. Hey, Gen G has been so slow on their A retake. You remember, they actually lost one of the rounds because their A retake was so slow. Because Sean was really, really late on the flank. This time they didn't have that flank, but that is a good idea from TSM. I'm loving it. I'm really, really liking it. They just don't get a break though here. They really don't. Yeah. Defense rounds for Gen G have been so good. So they're consistently, this is what I'm saying, when you come into the overtime on the side that was better for both of you guys. And that is almost always the case. It's just so difficult to break.
This A hit has to be fast because they obviously are trying something a little different. B play hasn't quite been working out. But once again, they slow down. They spend all their utility. They use the paranoia. They use the 0 point. And they're stuck. Look
at Wardell again. If this isn't telling, I mean, he's all the way up B main, and this is what ended up costing them regulation. It was Wardell peeking A main instead, so they can rotate everybody they want over in this direction. Hayes is going to use the cage to get across as well, although this is risky, going for Sean.
Oh, that's unfortunate. An opening pick for Gen G does not spell good news. Now, the big raid boss, though, is Sabrosa. He can find a multi-kill on his way out, no problem.
He doesn't have support, though. There's nobody here to support. There's no poison orb, nothing. And Bang and Wardell are just sitting in B main. They're actually going back into this. Oh, no. This could be disastrous for Gen G. They have the opportunity to end this game here, and the indecisiveness is costing them. Back towards B they wanted to go, and now back towards A. And Leviathan's gotten the wall down for Sabrosa. Wardell with the pick as well up into heaven, and it's a 4v4.
Bros is in such a tough spot. Levi, of course, now about to be pushed in. He hears them coming through. There's not a lot of time left. They've got to get the plant. One is down. Sabrosa finds another. That's the spike carrier. He's going to find another. They have to get the plant down. It's just down to 2 players. The plant is finally being executed on 2v2. This is about to get scary, Bala.
They don't want to go aggressive here. They want to play together. The knife is up. Wardell's still with the dash. He uses it already, so he's going to have that up. Smoke down on screens as well. Bang, with 1 star. I'm not sure if he could use this. He's got to go for the gunplay.
And he's so late, too. Wardell is going to be peeking this alone. The gravity well through. The swing! Oh, it's good for GMD! Just down a bang. He's good for one. One more player. 1v1. Controller v controller.
Time.
This could be it! Shots good for bang at TSM! Will they stay alive? Yes, they will. Spike defused. And ladies and gentlemen, we go again for the Red Bull clutch.
7 overtimes. Bang with the Red Bull clutch to save the series for TSM. For the new player on the biggest stage yet that he's played in with TSM. And he does it. Potentially saving their hopes for map 3, saving their hopes to not play a second game today and face elimination against one of T1 or V1. 7 overtimes, mainstream blessed. When will the pattern end? Who is going to crack this? TSM did it one time all the way back, but then they lost their own attack round. But Gen.G, look, since then, they have looked solid as a rock on their defenses. They really have. Even with TSM's good ideas.
Yeah, the stamina of the series hasn't gotten to Gen.G yet, which you can imagine after playing so much here, that could happen, right? You could start to get a little sloppy with your defense, but it's a good point to make that it's still sturdy.
Oh, they didn't put the tripping ropes, and Bang's lurking behind the wall. They're actually expecting. So this is from VOD review right here. The tripwires up on the heaven entrance rather than ropes when they see this wall, because Leviathan was lurking behind it and getting into ropes, but Bang is lurking in front of it, and he might be able to catch. Nope, there's the camera. Peekaboo, I see you.
Oh, and he's
Kyle's already
gun.
here.
He can't find the frag though. That is dangerous. GMD's alone here. You can see all of TSM. They're prepared for a B plant though.
This position from Sean is going to be dangerous. They've already cleared this, TSM has. So they think it's empty. So Brosa has to check it.
Ready for another peek. There's an injured Bang. One more. Levi does manage to find a frag, but now Nature is popping up. Kusta still on the B site, waiting for them to pop through. Guess who's caught right outside? And of course, the glass cannon finally works out just down to Wardell. 1v2, he can get this done.
Oh,
but of course, the frag's going to make things very challenging. 51 HP. 0 point coming through. Misses that shot. That could have been crucial. They're already out on the ground. Sees Nature. He's just trying to body peek first. And the style points with the jumping classic. Gen.G win another.
Switching sides.
Oh, man.
Match point.
And remember what happened last time. It was a 1v2 to save. You don't want that situation right now. TSM looks the weakest that they've looked on their defensive sides. This is the biggest opportunity that Gen.G has had so far. They just need to capitalize when they get those early entries, like they did on to Hazed in that round. A little bit cleaner, and all of a sudden this series is over. After so long. And it's not the same aggression, the same B main attack, or anything like that. And this time, Mikhail is there to greet Wardell on this A aggression that has gotten them so much information in the past. He won't take it, actually. So they should know what's happening.
I was just thinking, if they just keep Mikhail there, you know, Wardell doesn't get that for free. Round after round after round. And I'm sure that when they go back for VOD review, they'll be able to tell, wow, Wardell got a lot of information, and that's why we kind of weren't able to execute on a lot of things. And you see how slow they're moving. They're not really even into heaven yet, and they're just spending the utility to get the space. Still, anybody's game, 0 point as well, just to clear the corner. Hayes is already here, pinching them from behind. It's going to cost them even more utility to get out of the mailroom, which is where they're stuck in right now. There's the swing. Sabrosa good for one, almost good for the second. He will fall.
Leviathan and Bang, they've got the setup. One Raptors, one Pillar. Leviathan's going to give it up, though.
30 seconds
And the split is coming. Wardell's finally here, though. We can push through at the same time. Bang's going to get one. Leviathan as well. Kusta, though, he replies with 2 of his own in the 1 versus 4, but Wardell is there again. 19-19, we go once more. I'm starting to lose track. 8 overtimes at this point.
Yeah. For context, the N-Box series was 20-18, so we've already surpassed maybe one of the longest maps in the history of North American VCT. I don't know if this will take the record, or I don't know what the record is, but this looks like it. This is what a record looks like.
The 100 Thieves game against V1 was also 1917, so this is so far the longest I've seen in a long time. TSM with the opportunity to do what they did in overtime number, what was it, 3? And take the first round of the overtime. Since then, both sides have stepped up their defense game even more. Leviathan with the very, very aggro.
This is crazy. Because
Farther than
Kusta is
he's ever
completely, yeah, this is real. And he's got Wardell here to kind of help him out as well. They have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Look how easy Sean will be able to be picked off. Kusta too, as he comes back around, he's going to start shouldering this.
Well, this is
2 free
dangerous.
kills.
He only finds one. Can he find the second? No, Sean comes up big, but he does get punched on the opposite side. Paranoia, GMT drops down, finds 2! 2 big kills. 2v2 now. Nature and Mikael popping right out. Hayes is down. It's up to Bang. Popping through. There's a stack waiting for him. And Genji, are you surprised, Bala? They won a defensive round.
I mean, what is going on, man? Nobody's going to, like... I think the actual ratio of rounds won defense to attack that we had in the regulation 9-3 has held up in overtime. Like if you go over the 12 rounds, we played that many at this point, and it's held up. It really has. Although I think it's actually slowing down on attack, so I don't know what's going on at this point. I really don't. Once again, a big opportunity for TSM, but
somebody breaks. Somebody's got to break. We keep saying that, but it sounds like we're just saying nonsense at this point. Wardell, though, fast peek. Not going to get stopped early. This is going to be dangerous. Still here.
Same situation that happened before. He falls back into sight, though. He doesn't get knifed. So everything's still fine for him. They know where he is now, though, so they can actually knife specifically at him, but they won't. They'll wait for it. Retake map control and then maybe go for it, but at that point, he might have already repositioned, too.
I think this is the first round that, or this is like one of the very first overtime rounds that Wardell is not getting that free space, right? He's stuck waiting for the players to move in. So TSM have to default. This could actually benefit Genji because if they can overwhelm, they found a lot of success, but usually they are greeted with like 4 TSM members.
Kale's playing a dangerous game. And he ends up falling. Bang as well will get one. I mean, how many rounds has Genji gotten to first blood on this in overtime? When they come to attack. One time, and they didn't even win the round.
30 seconds left.
Toxins going up.
That was the 1v2 post plant. They found a pick on Hayes, I believe, early on. 3v5, doable, but very, very challenging considering kind of the nature of how this has panned out. Bang finds one lurking around. Levi just spraying through the toxic screen. 10 seconds remaining. Genji have to act. Nature finds one, but you know, there's a lot of TSM players waiting on the opposite end of this, and we go again, 20-20. I've never seen those numbers there in my life. And
we played 40 rounds of Valorant. Like, what is going on? And at this point, we're gonna have to take a tech pause for a quick moment. So we get a little bit of a break of our heart-pounding rounds over and over and over. Who's gonna break first? We still don't know. We still don't know. Come on, man. 9 overtimes. We played 8 so far, 16 rounds of overtime, and we're not any closer to finding out who will be the victor here.
Valorant devs are like, we didn't design the game to go this far. We don't know what it looks like when it says 30-30. We've never seen that before.
I mean, genuinely, I think that's what the tech timeout's probably about right now, because I've seen so many situations where it's just like, okay, well, so being careful for that. I like it. I really like it. It's funny too because this is uncharted territory for everybody, right? Production's like, I don't know, like what's gonna happen when
At like 9-3, they're like prepping. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll the ads. We're gonna do this, and then here we are, 20-20. Production's like, yeah, we kind of thought we'd be, in Pioneers versus Luminosity at this point, but here we are, 20-20. TSM just don't want to be down a losers bracket, but I mean, even if they get stout down there, there's going to be the lower bracket buff. Once TSM drops down, I'm pretty sure if they drop down,
yes,
the buff
right now.
the buff will be activated. I'm mind blown that it's literally, tit for tat, defense for defense. It's crazy.
Yeah, what more could you ask for after that half? After coming all the way back, that is just ridiculous. I'm shocked. I'm sure TSM is shocked, but they're playing out of their minds right now. And Gen G is also shocked because they're sitting there like, how did this happen? How are we here in this position at all? And they even tried some of their like most aggressive executes. I probably pulled straight out of scrims like, hey, we're not ready for this yet. Let's pull it out. Let's go for it because we got to do something, right? And just not finding anything yet. Some of these rounds are coming down to the wire, but honestly, I think they're mostly won from the first 2 kills. From that point on, you can kind of see how the rounds are coming, and it's not necessarily, there are some hero plays coming out every once in a while, like Bang's 1v2, for example, or GMD's Paranoia dive through the smoke in the last round, for example. Those are the types of things that have been saving, but for the most part, it's just solid play all around.
I think we got replay. I think we got some footage to look at. Maybe something to review. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we got something. Give us a lifeline, anything at this point. Man, I just, at the bare minimum, what I'm seeing in this overtime is that TSM is still trying to break that curse, that attacker side curse. They're trying different things like you've highlighted. Even in the most recent attack round from TSM, get Levi, get all the way backside, and they still lost it. Like, that is no flame to Levi, but that's crazy that they're trying all these insane pushing the limit strategies.
Yep.
And Genji's defense is just that tight. We're having a look at a couple of the replays here. Crazy.
Yeah, these are some of the overtime rounds too, right? So it's not even like regulation or anything like this. This is the adjustment that TSM had on defense that kind of took Genji by surprise. It worked twice, and then they kind of stopped playing it because, yes, it probably played out its hand. And since then, Genji, at least since the executes that they tried to run on B, has played much more consistently, a little bit towards mid and stuff like that. This is the 1v2. That is so clutch, man. So clutch for your first main event.
To be fair, I feel like this Wardell that we're seeing, we haven't seen it in a little bit, It's not that he hasn't picked up the op. Of course, there was like a giant meta where the op was just too expensive. It was difficult to get online. But now he's got a little bit of a better window with the economy changes, and you can see how impactful it is for him. He doesn't mind going glass cannon, and that is something that I think a lot of op players would not prefer to do, take that risk, but it pays off. It pays off for Wardell in dividends.
Yeah, I think on defensive side specifically, I mean, the way that he's able to clear the angles and take those information plays on towards A main or B main has been crucial. However, on the attack sides, when he's going for that glass cannon, not necessarily finding the same impact because Genji's just not giving him anything. They just aren't. The only rounds that an attack side has won in overtime was that crazy flick, not flick even. He was pre-aiming the jump peak from GMD in heaven. Like, who does that again? But you can see how far, like, that is all the way up mailroom. If Wardell needs to get there, that is a very difficult thing for TSM to actually get him into those positions. But that's what they need to do in my mind. That is literally what they need to do. How they do it is the big crucial point. Maybe work Sub-Rosa with him, maybe work off of Leviathan's wall. That's been how they've been doing it. Just every time I feel like he runs in the camera or something like that, where it just doesn't work anymore.
One of the things that I had noticed in one of the pre-overtime, it almost feels like a century ago. Pre-overtime, what's that? There was a round that they had, Genji particularly on their attack, they had 0-pointed A pillar.
Yeah.
And Wardell was in an advanced position, and he got stuck. He got suppressed. He couldn't tail when he ran back behind the flower pile, and they just chased him down And I know that for Gen.G, it's difficult to replicate something like that. But I mean, like, you and I have called out, like, oh, there was like one round recently, like, oh, they know where he is. They could try to overwhelm him. They could try to wait for that 0 point or try, you know, whatever they need to do. And I think that Gen.G are using the 0 point very like frugally. They're just trying to like, hey, we don't know what's around this corner. Let's just 0 point this corner and see who's around the other end. But then they don't have it for Wardell when the actual battle comes for it. So that can be very tricky to kind of battle.
Yeah, I mean, trying to target him did work in regulation basically, but the difference was they had no command, not the 0 point knife, right? So,
True.
Hey, maybe that's an idea, right? Let's double orb control for KO. Let's double orb control for Nature on T side and see how that goes. But he still needs to get I'm not even sure. I think it's three orbs to get an ult for everybody, no matter what you start with or how many ult points it takes. So maybe it's an idea. He still needs to get an early kill to actually make that work, though. So like you're counting on a lot for that to go. It might be the key though, because even on these defensive rounds, Simo, I don't think Wardell has been like, I'm saying like, yeah, sure, that worked on regulation because they kind of knew they were making the reads ahead of time. That's the difference. They can't make the reads right now because he's all over the place, right?
Yeah. Not to mention, the only op, at least for this particular setting, is Nature. He was opping last half, and that is another option. Now, he would have to go Glass Cannon, and they would have
KO.
to... and Gen.G would have to put him in a position to do that. But I'm pretty sure they prioritize his utility over his potential as a Glass Cannon opper. And I would agree with that. His utility is way more pivotal than him being an opper going up against Wardell trying to close this out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we're here theorizing as we're waiting. I'm assuming the lobby has to be remade or something like that just to like make sure the game doesn't break. But it's just, it's difficult. Even you and I sitting here trying to figure it out. Like, I can only imagine. Now, one of the things that I think Gen.G hasn't taken attack timeout, that is something that could be helpful for their coach to kind of chime in. I know that, you know, he's kind of the brains behind the brawn, and that could help because TSM has used almost every single attack timeout that they possibly can to regroup, strategize, and hit hard.
Yeah, it's 2 timeouts in regulation, and then you get 1 for all of OT. Like, that's brutal, number one, but also like that's how it works. So Gen.G has not used any. Honestly, I haven't seen them really use tac timeouts in the past, so it's like it's not necessarily like a big thing. It's like, oh, maybe they just don't like it, right? Maybe they just don't. So, and plus you're getting 10 extra seconds in freeze time too to talk about it. It's like, whatever. Like, at this point, there's ideas are flowing, man. Ideas are flowing. You've had so many times where you're just sitting there dead, waiting for the round to end, thinking about stuff. Like, the ideas are definitely flowing. It's just about, honestly, you brought up the stamina point, and especially now that we're sitting here waiting for the game to be remade so that we can go and make sure that it doesn't break down the line. Now that we're here, stamina becomes a big factor. Stamina plays a big factor. Who's going to break first? It has been a question, but really we've been talking tactically who's going to break, who's going to be able to like overcome the odds that they play against. Now, people could end up tiring out, that's for sure.
And the crazy thing is even furthermore in regards to that stamina, we still have another map. If TSM somehow inch it over, we still have Icebox. It's like, just because you are the victor when it comes to that half or that map, with overtime, doesn't mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We're gonna hop back in the game, score 20-20 because we need to get the game going. Just pay attention right now. 20-20, as if overtime was happening, and we're gonna play it out from here. So it's attack side for TSM again. Ignore the score, 20-20 in our 9th overtime. Let's see if we can make it to 10. At this point.
Here's open. Imagine, is that TSM win kind of like, is that what you mean? Like we're reset completely? Yeah, Gen.G's on the defense, so we are reset. So that TSM one.
This is reset. Yep.
Yeah, don't mind that TSM one. Don't pay that no mind. Again, back to the defense, back to the glass cannon, prepared for a B hit. Or no, they're looking for that mid control. Okay. Same stuff that we've been seeing before for TSM's attack. Let's see what we've got.
Leave no trace of them.
It's more towards the default that they were running in regulation, honestly. The two stars, one in mail, or two in mail and one on ropes. Jump spotting again. This is fast. This is fast. Leviathan already working and acting like he's going to lurk out. But they could quickly end up into a B heaven split where they take a lot of control. That could be dangerous.
Good little Roomba. One-way smoke to slow things down. It's just been Kusta versus Levi this whole time over towards B, but the one time he managed to get a lot of space. I don't think Genji are going to let that happen again. But you see Kusta's in a really different position. Like they're very passive on the B side, maybe playing for the retake. In fact, they're passive across the board.
And here's Sean with the information. Normally, Cerberus is diving on him. He's gone, but the nade is good. GMD still for more. Cerberus comes back up the ropes. He falls. Sean too.
Wow, he finds two on the way out. That is insane. 3v2 though now. As Wardell's still alive, has the spike, needs to get it planted. Bang is going to push up forward, but GMD's just laying in wait. Oh no! Now Bang on the retreat still survives, and Nature's going to be dealt with facing off against him. 0 point. Spike still not down, and TSM do not feel safe to get this planted. Bang without any of his utility. Wardell still with the op, 12 seconds.
Same situation that happened before where Wardell was just waiting so long, but now time, and they're going to be able to push Bang by himself. No!
Oh no, the frag. Oh, he makes it out. No way. Now the op. Nature drop down. They don't know.
Like this?
They're waiting. Good shot there from Nature. Now they wrap around the pillar. They know Wardell's backside or Mikael's down. Now it's just down to Nature, and he finds it. Wardell was low. He was the glass cannon, but Nature taking us to another overtime round.
Oh my goodness. So 21 Genji to 20 for TSM right now. Advantage Genji in the 9th overtime. But this is just the same old at this point, guys. Like, this is literally where we've been. And Wardell had a chance, but just not. He didn't have his dash in that, so the situation was very difficult for him. He had to hit the shot, and Nature also, to give him props, he had to hit that shot too, and he did. A small sliver of Wardell too, and he's just been on one this game. Nature has been on one. He's been so good, so consistent, defense after defense. Now an opportunity to close this series out.
Ooh, Sabrosa taken down a little low. Roomba to follow. This time Wardell's in a little bit of a tough spot. They're pushing up through the split. The players that are stuck in A main still kind of have to deal with Wardell as he's about to pump through. But of course the 0 point. Ooh, wow. Quick pick onto Kusa. That's troublesome. And now he's backside. Genji again stuck. Unsure of how they want to hit this site. They're going to go through heaven instead.
Smoke down for the top so they can actually cross, but they're crossing into Wardell, who's got a free head to shoot at. That's GMD. And no more smokes to adjust here, so Hayes has got a big opportunity, but shot win so far. Only one as Nature trades.
Now they got to fight for Sabrosa, but they line up right for him. Man.
There it is.
Genji just can't get the confidence to like breach through. They're just stuck. They get corralled. They spend all their utility, and then they can't quite push through. There's a lot of respect for Wardell here. A lot of respect.
I mean, hey, they've been respecting him in all game, and honestly, that's why Wardell has had a quiet game. But he's not able right now to take it over. He just isn't, because it's just so oppressive when you're playing against Nature who's hitting shots like he did in the clutch. It's so difficult. So we run it back. I think one thing to note is that TSM has a little bit more explosive power, I think, in the hands of Sabrosa, and the fact that they have a Jet compared to on the other side, they don't have a Jet, right? Who can like literally just change around completely because of his dash up drafts, whatever, like CNED style.
Yeah.
So maybe that gives them a little bit of an edge in the overtime when it comes to the attack rounds, but even I'm just reaching for straws at this point. Like,
Oh, Hayes. GMD's ready for you. A little bit late on the reaction, but that's okay. But they're actually going to be punching in from the opposite side. And now GMD has to be a little bit careful. Kusta finally finds Levi in the age-old battle. Nature spots out at least one player. Now GMD can react off the flash, maybe. Paranoia as well. They flash him back because there's flashes galore, and GMD will fall. They will double back, and whoa, the tailwind right in. This is dangerous because this is another player. No, the late move. Kusta will find Wardell, and they'll just drop into sight.
It's scripted, bro. Like, how is that happening where you said trade? It's scripted. This is ridiculous. Spike gonna go down. They're actually pushing this into spawn though, so Broza could make a big dent in this because they've all gone heaven. And do they expect the flank? Usually always when you come through heaven, there's an opportunity for this, and Bang actually gets away too. And it's planted for heaven and main.
No charges. Shutting them down.
0 points can give a lot of strange information that nobody's really playing around the pillar. Now you can see that the combination's starting to come through, but Kusta was looking back there for a quick second. Still going to be watching heaven just to be sure that if you starting to come through, Gravity Well, of course, going to stop that. They can play for this post plant. Now, of course, they have to start to act. If you starting to come through, spraying in. Now the push coming in from Sabrosa. He finds one. Can he find two? Sabrosa breaks the curse.
Switching
Genji,
sides.
life on the line.
Point.
Not really, though, because we still have one more map, but
This is the first time this has happened since the third overtime. Since the third overtime, we finally have an attack round win. 22-21 right now. In the 10th overtime, TSM, opportunity to extend the series. If they can close out Genji, they're primed for the same execute. Leviathan's gonna get information. The nade is coming through as well. It's happening. But they slow it down. Only throw the flashes, and they're not going with it. Because I think they're trying to bait something to happen on the rest of the map. But it's just not happening for TSM. They hold strong.
Ordell as well having this angle to a lobby. Really, you know, is going to give him more than enough information. And he's going to start moving up. This time I like Mikhail staying back here, though, because he can maybe anticipate. This battle was potentially the game ender right there, or the game winner, and Wardell wins that frag. So this is going to be a very troublesome hit now, and they're going to have to try again. 0 point coming through. Levi backside, the spray through. Just doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how. Frag backside. As you see Bang here laying in wait. Genji looking real rough here.
All comes down to this. Sabros with another one. Nature falls, and there it is! TSM bring us to map 3 after a ridiculous map number 2.